The beginning was a miracle that turned into a waking nightmare within 24 hours. Asterisk, she arrived, Zainab. A name that meant the jewel of her father. She was the impossible dream come true, born to a couple who had prayed, wept, and bargained with the heavens for 10 long, barren years. She was exquisite, but her first breath was her mother's last. Her birth certificate was signed in blood and tears. Asterisk, before the grief could even register. Before the sun could rise on her mother's grave, the phone rang. It was a hammer blow to the family's soul. Her father, a car wreck. Gone. In the span of 18 hours, Zainab, the child of a miracle, had become a ghost. A total orphan, too small to know that the world had already shattered around her. Asterisk, her maternal grandfather, a man who wore his age like armor, looked at this fragile relic of his daughter and made a vow that shook the rafters. Others whispered about the burden, the cost, the impossibility of raising a ghost child. He silenced them with a voice of thunder and iron resolve. Asterisk, this child is blood. She is not a burden. She is a sanctuary. As long as I draw breath, she remains at my side. I will never let her go. Never. Asterisk, Zainab grew up in the shadow of this old warrior's love. She would look up at him with eyes that saw everything and ask, "Where are my parents?" He would bend down, gentleness, masking his own agony, and give her the only truth he had. They fell asleep, my love. They are just sleeping. Asterisk school wasn't a choice for Zainab. It was a crusade. She channeled her grief into raw intelligence. She was a prodigy. She crushed exams. Perfect scores, term after term, from the first grade to the 6th. Her name was a legend in her village. Then her town. Neighbors whispered that she was destined for the Ivy League, a shining light born from the darkest tragedy. The orphan was going to conquer the world. But the world had other plans. It happened on a night as black as oil. A high-end, powerful car pulled up to her grandfather's humble door. The driver's side door opened, and a man stepped out. The uncle, the eldest brother. He didn't offer a traditional greeting. He didn't care about hospitality. He spoke in a tone that was cold, clipped, and full of unspoken violence. Asterisk, Zainab is not a child anymore. Her time here is up. I'm taking her. Now. Asterisk, her grandfather recoiled, his voice trembling but defiant. I made a promise. A blot oath. I will not break it. Asterisk. The uncle leaned in, his gaze sharp enough to draw blood. Listen to me, old man. If you refuse, I will mobilize the entire clan. I will unleash a tribal war that will paint these streets red over this girl. Is that what you want? To see a village burn over a promise to dead people? Make your choice. Asterisk, desperation twisted her grandfather's face. To save her life, he had to destroy his promise. He was backed into a corner of tribal duty and impending carnage. With a broken heart, his head bowed, he turned to Zainab, who was already shivering with a terror she didn't fully understand. Asterisk, go with them, my child. For 3 days, just 3 days, to know them. If you feel any unease, if you feel any fear, I swear on my life, I will come and get you. It was the last lie he ever told her. The 3 days was a ruse, a calculated betrayal. The uncle didn't take her because he suddenly found paternal affection. He took her because Zainab had inherited a massive, highly valuable piece of land from her mother, the deed. He needed her to sign it away. Asterisk, before the dust had even settled on her journey, the papers were thrust in her face. Transfer of ownership. A declaration stripping her of her only security. Confused, isolated, and broken by the betrayal of the grandfather who had promised to protect her, Zainab signed. Asterisk, the moment the ink was dry, the mask slipped. The sanctuary became a dungeon. The uncle's wife didn't see a niece. She saw a slave, a piece of unwanted property. They shoved Zainab into a cramped, filthy, rat-infested storage room, no bigger than a coffin. They beat her regularly. Worse, They forced her into the neighboring homes, the houses she was supposed to be cleaner than, and compelled her to clean their floors, their bathrooms, just so they could seize the meager coins she earned. Asterix, the brilliant prodigy, the future star, was now a degraded servant, trapped in a relentless, brutal cycle of abuse. Asterisk, but in that suffocating darkness, a spark of kindness endured. A local seamstress, known only as, she was the only one in the entire neighborhood who looked at Zainab and saw a suffering child, not labor. Secretly, Yasser fed her, sometimes slip in her a piece of bread, a stolen moment of affection, risking her own safety to offer a crumb of humanity. Asterisk, one evening, Zainab arrived at Yasser's doorstep, her face brutally swollen, her eyes purple and nearly closed from the beating her uncle's wife had just given her. The reason, a perceived shortage in the money she was supposed to have earned from her servitude. Asterisk, the seamstress's husband, Abu Yasser, was a man of quiet nobility. He walked in and saw the bruised child. The sight shattered his stoic calm. He looked at his wife, his decision made. Asterisk, this ends tonight. We cannot just watch this child die here. If she stays, she will die. We have to get her out. Asterisk, Abu Yasser knew the stakes. This wasn't just running away. It was a high-risk covert operation. If they were caught, the uncle's clan wouldn't just beat them. They would kill them. He pulled Zainab aside. Listen to me. Tomorrow, claim you are sick. Tell them you have to go to a special house, a house far away, to clean. Then, when they send you out, come straight here. Do not stop. Asterisk, at 5 a.m. The world was still asleep. The seamstress dressed Zainab, not in her rags, but in an expansive black abaya cloak, pulling the heavy bushia veil completely over her face. Zainab was a shadow, a non-entity. Invisible, Asterisk Abu Yasser walked with her, his presence a stabilizing force against her visible terror. She was shivering. She knew that if her uncle or his sons caught her, death would be a mercy. They secured a taxi to the main depot, the garage in the city of Al. It was the first leg of a journey into the terrifying unknown. From there, they needed a bus to the remote village where her original family resided. Asterisk, they approached a small mic. Abu Yasser knew the driver, Mawid. He was a man with a solid reputation. Abu Yasser pulled Mawid aside, his face etched with gravity. His voice was a hush. Asterisk, this girl, she is a profound orphan, a victim of unspeakable cruelty. She is fleeing for her life. I am trusting you. Take her to this village and ensure she is placed safely into the hands of her relatives. She is your amana, a sacred trust. Guard her with your life. She is your bulletproof sanctuary now. Asterisk Zainab, covered from head to toe in black, stood frozen. She didn't know the driver. She didn't know where the village was. All she knew was that she was finally free, and utterly, completely alone. Asterisk, the microbus roared to life. The deed was signed, the property taken, the girl abandoned. But as the vehicle moved away, Zainab, through the mesh of her veil, watched the Uncle Essie's city recede. She had lost her miracle, her family, her future, but she had kept the one thing they couldn't beat out of her, the quiet, unbreakable spirit of her grandfather's promise. Asterisk, the voyage had begun. Toward home. Toward sanctuary. Toward Hopi.